Okay, I was interested in building an ugly drum smoker. However, our house is plumbed for natural gas, so I wanted to design something that could work off natural gas for the heat source. Some of you who do a lot of smoking meats probably may disagree with me on this, but I wanted to use natural gas. So I looked online and there just wasn't anyone that had ever done anything like this before. So I had to kind of do a lot of research and I've kind of experimented a little bit, and this is what I came up with. I want to give credit to Stymie for this design. That's where I got this design for this drum smoker, although I've seen other people have done it as well. So I won't go into so much the construction of the smoker itself, just mainly how I modified it for natural gas. So I did use the plow disc, but I was able to, through our local, we have a local ag supply around here, and he had the whole bunch of discs sitting out there, which he just gave me, and then that rod and that hook or that knob on the top, what I just used is a couple of nuts that they had on there, anchored it down. He had some steel plate that they were using just to hold these discs in place, so I asked him for a couple of those. So I've got this steel plate on top and a steel plate on the bottom, and I used some big heavy duty nuts to kind of secure that in place, and then that rod sticks up from the top, and that's what I use. That loop on the top I can just screw and unscrew. It's galvanized, from what I can tell, so I didn't want to have that inside the heat. So I just take that off before I put the smoker disc in, the charcoal holder down inside. I unscrew that disc, and then I'm good to go. And then once then when I need to take it out, I just screw that disc on, or screw that loop on, and pull the disc out. And I tried it last night and it seemed to work good. And also what I did is down inside, I think you can see the bars I put across. That's what my the charcoal bass with that disc, that Harrow disc, sits on. So it just sits on top of that. So I kind of modified that a little bit as well. The bricks that I put down in there just to hold my burner unit, which is right here. I did some research and I found these, they're called like a walk burner or something like that. It's 23 jets, and so and then I have just a gas valve right there. When I tried it last night, I was able to get the temperature with the gas valve, that ball valve, barely open. I was able to get about 250 degrees, and it maintained that heat just spot on for 2 hours. Didn't have to do anything to it. However, like I said, the gas valve was barely on, and so what I wanted to be able to have a little more control over the temperature. If I wanted to adjust it down, I wanted to be able to. So what another video I saw, and I apologize, I can't remember who it was, just put 8mm by 1 hex bolts into the jets. I pulled off 7 of the jets. This is a 23 jet burner. So I pulled out 7, inserted the nuts in there to reduce the heat. And I'm going to try that today to see how well it maintains the heat. I just bought the 23 jet because it was just as much as the smaller one's a 10 jet one. And so I went ahead and just bought the 23 jet burner. So what I'm going to do now is insert it all in there. I'm going to try to regulate it, see if I can get the heat regulated, adjust the heat where I want it to. Okay, as you can see, even with the just 7 jets removed, and seeing guys using this, there's a tremendous amount of heat coming out of this, even with just 16 jets. So I'm going to adjust the flame down a little bit. Seeing guys, they were using this to brew their beer. I'm using it as a smoker, so I'm going to turn this down even further, and I'm hopefully going to be able to get the kind of heat out of it that I'm looking for without it being too hot. So okay, just like I say, it's smoking. I just turned the heat down a little bit. The temperature's already starting to come down. It's already started to drop a little bit. Like I said, what I'm shooting for is I'm going to try to get that heat down. Like I said, last night I was able to keep it regulated right at about 250. So I think if I were going to try to smoke something, I guess what I'm going to try, at least as an experiment, is I'll bring the heat up to about 400 till it starts smoking like this. I'll turn the heat down, let it start coming, and probably go ahead and just put my meat in here right now to start with, just so it's getting that good smoke running through. Because what I've been some of the posts I've read have said you want to try to keep it smoking for at least half the smoke time or half the cook time. It should be exposed to the smoke, so I don't want to waste all that smoke while I'm letting the heat come down. So I would probably try putting my meat in there now, and then letting it smoke, and just let that heat gradually taper off till I get it around 200, 225 to 250, somewhere in that range. So we'll see how it goes. And one thing I wanted to note too about that wok burner that you saw earlier, with that jet burner. From what I read, each one of those jets puts out about 10,000 BTUs per jet. So at a 23 jet burner, you're talking 230,000 BTUs, which is a boatload of heat. And from what I understand, at least some of the research I was doing, it looks like a barbecue typically puts out somewhere in the neighborhood of 80,000 maybe. So certainly would have been plenty of heat. I had, in this design, trying to figure out what to use as a heat source, I consulted with my local hardware store and got some ideas from one of the people there. We explored some different possibilities. We explored using like a log starter for a gas fireplace. So that was a possibility. We explored possibly just even building a pipe burner of our own or whatever. But when I saw those wok burners on there and the heat well, let me back up. The one thing the hardware guy at the hardware store, he was concerned that if putting couplings or fittings on there that might reduce the gas flow and hence the heat. And his thought was you want to be able to maximize as much heat as possible. So that's why I thought too, with that jet burner kicking out 230,000 BTUs would be plenty of heat. So well, now about 160,000 BTU, because I took off 7 of those 23 burners, so I've got 16 jets on there. Temperature seems to be coming down. Again, smoke is still there. I think I'd like to have a little more smoke, but like I said, I'm just going to have to adjust and play with it to fine tune it to figure out what works. And I'm open to suggestions. So if any of you guys have any ideas to get that good smoke going, I'd love to know. But like I said, I wanted something for natural gas, and so that I could keep that heat regulated. I wouldn't have to go buying charcoal all the time and everything. And in my opinion, it's kind of the wood that gives it the good smoke flavor. I know some out there would disagree with me, but like I said, this is what I wanted to try to do, and so far I'm pleased with the way it turned out. Okay, so I just removed the lid to kind of stoke the wood chips. It's been on, like I said, since the last time I turned this on. It's been maybe about 5 minutes total. Taking the lid off really brought the heat down, and it's slowly starting to creep back up again. So I think what I'm going to try to start doing now is regulating the heat, regulating the temperature, the gas intake to see. It crept up. Looks like it's holding right around 250 right now. It was kind of bumping up periodically, but it seems to be holding right about 250. And it looks like it may be creeping up a little bit. So again, I'm going to try to adjust the gas and see if we can get that. It's pretty close to 250 right now. I'm going to see if I can drop it down a little bit and control that heat to bring it down near around 200 and see if I can maintain it there. Okay, smoke kind of died out, so I turned the heat back up, and what I'm trying to do right now is I've got the lid off. I'm trying to really get those wood chunks catching on fire, I guess, and so they're really lit good and start smoking real good. I piled them up around that post a little bit, hopefully get them to ignite. So right now the challenge has been so far is once I put the lid back on and turn the heat down, then I start losing the smoke. So keep experimenting. One thing I did notice is with the lid off is the temperature is right around 200 degrees. So I'm contemplating whether or not I might just, there they finally caught fire. So that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on and turn the gas down. Okay, as you can see, once I got those wood chunks to ignite, I put the lid on to kind of reduce the oxygen flow and now it's starting to smoke pretty good. So my thought is, what I'll probably end up needing to do is, once I'm ready to get my meat ready to go, get those wood chips ignited, put that lid on till it starts to smoke like this, then remove the lid, hang my meat fairly quickly, because probably within, I'd say maybe about 10-15 seconds of having the lid off, it started to ignite again. The flame started to build up, and I don't want to, obviously I don't want to burn my meat. I want to just smoke for a while. So like I say, the temperature's starting to come down again. Like I said, taking the lid off really makes that temperature drop, but it looks like it's starting to come down. It's right about 260 right now, I'd say. So that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to see if I can maintain it this way, this smoke like this, for at least the next hour, and see how it does. Okay, it's only been about, I'd say about maybe 10 minutes since the last time I turned this on. So, you can see, let me zoom this in, you can see the temperature is right at 200. So, now I'm going to see if I can maintain it there. I'm going to see if it'll drop even a little bit lower. I don't know, but 200, that's, I'm kind of pleased it got down that low. So removing those jets helped, it looks like, and giving me a little bit more flexibility on the temperature. So so now we're going to now I'm just going to see if I can maintain that temperature at 200 degrees roughly for about the next hour or so, and just making sure that the temperature is going good. It's smoking well. I like it. I like that there's some good amount of smoke coming out of it. So I'm liking what I see so far. So until later.